I had Thai curry for lunch today, and today I'm talking about Thai food. Is that karma? Is that destiny? Is that coincidence? Is it completely unplanned? Who knows? Sawadee ka! Welcome everybody, all of you beautiful people, to part 2 of my Thailand series. In part 1, I talked about just some general tips on traveling to Thailand and some miscellaneous stories that I had, and I will link that in a card above and in the description box down below. For today, when I was planning out what to say on this video, I was a little bit stumped. I'm not a food critic. I cook very simple and basic meals at home, so I don't know if I'd really call myself a chef. I haven't studied food, like the history of food etiquette, or the science behind ingredients, whatever. So what I can give you is a very simple opinion, and that is I think Thai food is fantastic. It's my favorite. The flavors of Thai dishes are just far more interesting to me compared to American food, which I can find one-dimensional, often bland, very salty. Chefs of America, just chill a little bit on the usage of salt. Yeah. I've come to enjoy the punch of spice that a lot of Thai food has, and I would just like to say that before meeting my husband, I had zero tolerance of spicy food, but now, in the present, I now have a tolerance of about a 3 to 3.5 star at a 5-star spice level, which I think is pretty good. I find the spices of Thai food kind of hit you in the back of the mouth as compared to, let's say, wasabi in a lot of Japanese foods. That seems to concentrate in the nose, so it really clears out your sinuses. Perhaps if you have a cold, go for that. I've also had Mexican-American food, which I feel kind of concentrates at the front of the mouth. Essentially, spices comes in all different flavors. So if I'm going to choose any kind of spice, I'm going to choose Thai spice. So TLDR, Thai food is the bomb diggity, and it's pretty much ruined me for any other kind of food. So keeping this sort of surface level, I can at least recommend some places to eat, share some of my favorite meals and snacks, and a few tips on food which will make more sense when you come to that part of the video. I would also like to preface this, if this can still be considered a preface, that my husband likes to say that, and I quote, "Thailand, if nothing else, got their food correct," end quote. Hashtag optimism, hashtag silver linings, something. I don't Twitter. Jumping into food and favorite places, I really want to highlight a gem in Bangkok that, for many times that I've been there, seems to only be visited by locals and not really foreigners. It is called Bun Marché, and it is located near the border of Bangkok province and the, if I'm going to say this correctly, Nonthaburi province. Bun Marché is first and foremost a market, so you can find meats, fish, vegetables, fruits, all sorts of things. And it's my husband and mine and my husband, English. It's our favorite market to go to. The market is open 7 days a week, and it opens at 10 a.m. and closes at 10 p.m., though some of the business times do differ. The variety of food that you can find here The variety of food that you can find there is actually pretty impressive. There's a sort of cafeteria area that you'll mostly find traditional Thai food with some Thai food from northern Thailand and southern Thailand. And I do remember a Vietnamese stand that is really good, which I would definitely recommend. Beyond the pseudo cafeteria area, you will find a lot of different restaurants, cafes, dessert places, and dessert stands, other shops that sell just various merchandise. One of my favorite shops is it's a little shop that sells a lot of imported, I think specifically from Europe, desserts, snacks, teas, coffees, and my husband and I love to go there to get their German and French coffee in particular, and it is a little bit expensive, but I think completely worth it. My husband and I also have a My husband and I also have a favorite cafe called, and I'm so gonna mispronounce this, so I'll put it on screen, but the Cafe Ola. We just like to go there to hang out or have study sessions. And another favorite place that at least I really enjoy, my husband told me, this Japanese restaurant. He says that it's whatever, but I like it, and I will have to look that up and put the name of it on screen. Anyway, it's one of my favorite restaurants to go to, and without fail, every time my father-in-law comes along with us to have lunch or dinner, he always gets the tonkatsu. He never gets anything else, and I don't know, I just find that kind of adorable. Two things to note about Bon Marché is, one, they do have 2 public restrooms, and they cost about 5 baht, which is, 5 to 10 cents, so that's really cheap. And at the entrances of both, they do provide toilet paper in case you do not have any with you, because as I mentioned in my first video, you pretty much always want to carry toilet paper no matter where you go. So in case you forgot any, they will provide it for you, at least at this particular location. Number 2, a majority of the food and other shops that you will find in this little shopping area, you will pay in cash. My fine folk, allow me to reminisce about one of my absolute favorite desserts I tried in Bon Marché, which were these light, fluffy, subtly flavored soft cakes. I only got to try them a couple times during my first trip. They were not there in Bon Marché during my second trip, because I assume that the company, they're called Swan Soft Cake, that the stand that they had at the time was just temporary, and that's just sad. That's very unfortunate for my taste buds and my feelings. While putting together this video, I did look up to see where Swan Soft Cake exists, and unfortunately they do not have any locations in Bangkok. You'd have to travel north about 3 hours to the Nakhon Sawan province. So, Rose, if we don't even get to try these apparently magical desserts, why even mention them? Because no woman, man, child, hippogriff, or fluffy dessert shall be left behind or forgotten. Do you hear me? Sure, yeah, okay, I hear ya. Good. Good. Another great place I feel very much compelled to share with you is a restaurant called Zen. This is a Japanese chain restaurant, sure, but I want to point out a specific location in the Central World Mall. I've been there 3 to 4 times, and it was just nom 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 nom. It was super tasty. Japanese restaurants in America wish they had this level of freshness, but they often don't. But they don't. A second chain restaurant I want to recommend, and I didn't even know apparently exists in the US, is called Dean and DeLuca. If you're looking for a more Western style meal with just a little Thai twist to it, then look no further. We've been to 2 separate locations. One of them I can't remember, but for sure one of the locations is in the Central Embassy Mall. Both locations, they had just wonderful food and great service. I would now like to roll the footage on a few cafes, a couple restaurants, and other random food goodness with probable voiceover commentary. After U Cafe is located on the ground floor of Siam Paragon. The few times I passed by it, it was always busy because, as I found out, their desserts and drinks are very yummy. Divolicious Cafe, what a great name, was about a 10-minute walk from the Airbnb we stayed at in our second trip to Thailand. It wasn't summer, but it's still too warm to even walk for 10 minutes outside. Anywho, as you can see, this was such a hipster-looking cafe, and as the name claims, it is delicious. I just really love the interior, so I took a lot of footage. It was raining the day we visited Luca Cafe, which wasn't too bad since the rain always cools things down nicely. It was a pair-up of a home decor store with a cafe integrated into it. You would order at the counter, find a seat, and someone would bring you your tasty treats. I also really like the interior here too, thus a lot of footage. For all of you crazy kids out there traveling to Thailand for the first time and just wanting to toss away your metaphorical life jacket and dive headfirst into Thai street food, let me just stop you right there, okay? I was gonna use a whistle, but I don't have one, so cowbell. You gotta start at the kiddie pool and just ease your way into the hardcore scene that is street food, because if you don't, your stomach doth protest. I mean, if you're a lucky humanoid that has a stomach made of steel, well then just congratulations. In short though, go easy on your first few days, yeah? Give your stomach time to adjust, and this may or may not be coming from personal experience. You have no proof. Speaking of street food, many vendors, specifically in Bangkok, start between 5:30 a.m. and 7 a.m. That is their prime time, at least for breakfast, and just props to them for getting shiz done before 7 a.m. because goodness knows that I'm rarely up before 7 a.m. One of my favorite things to have for breakfast is batongo, I hope I got that right, and nam tahu. Certainly keep in mind that batongo it's not healthy, but dang if it isn't tasty. It is essentially sweetened fried dough. And nam tahu, that is lightly sweetened soy milk. I just find that I prefer the warm version of nam tahu over the cold. My husband, he really has no preference, but that's just mine. On the topic of breakfast, I did find it a little bit challenging to find meals that I liked for breakfast. Being from the US, I have a very particular brand of meals of what I see to be breakfast food, whereas a Thai person might have curry or fish for breakfast. I see that as lunch or dinner, so I had a hard time stomaching those types of meals for breakfast, although thankfully, that did not happen very often. My main small go-to breakfast meals during both trips were either a ham and cheese sandwich, either made at home or my husband would pick some up from the 7-Eleven. That was a big guilty pleasure. Or batongo with nam tahu. Or I would have congee, which is a rice porridge often served with ground pork balls. Now, if I had to give you any tips on food in Thailand, it would be these 5 things. 1. As I already adamantly mentioned in the beginning of this video, go easy on the street food when you are first visiting Thailand. Number 2, Thailand is a strictly bottled watered country. You do not drink the tap water. 3, you're in a foreign country, so I just encourage you to try their food. Don't just gravitate to whatever you are accustomed to, whether that is Japanese, Chinese, Italian, just whatever you can find. Try the Thai food, at least once. Just try it. 4, there is no set tipping system like there is in the US when it comes to restaurants. When and how much you want to tip is honestly depends on where you are and how much you want to tip. I realize that sounds rather vague and just use your best judgment, but it kind of is. Number 5, if you are staying at an Airbnb and thus have access to a kitchen, I assume, you still don't need to worry about having a lot of food on hand because it is a lot cheaper just to eat out rather than cook anything at home. When my husband and I used Airbnb, we kept some drinks and snacks on hand, but a majority of the time, probably 98% of the time, we went out to eat. Now here are a couple small anecdotes that didn't really fall into any particular category. 1, weird thing about Starbucks. During our second trip, one location wanted me to use my passport to access the Wi-Fi, which I noped out of and I just read from my Kindle. Another location wanted me to create a profile and username and password, and I noped out of that as well. My husband had to use his Thai ID to be able to access the Wi-Fi, and during our first trip, there were no such blockades, I guess you can say, at Starbucks, so Starbucks of Thailand. What happened? Does anybody out there know what happened? Because I certainly don't. Anecdote number 2. Now, of course I miss all Thai food. I miss Thai food specifically from Thailand, but there are some snacks or drinks, beverages in particular, that I miss. 2 different brands of chocolate milk, which I will put pictures of those on screen. And I do realize that I can probably get the Meiji brand from an Asian store in the US, but I don't live close to an Asian grocery store, so I'm just I'm out of luck. I need a moment. Fun fact, my husband did not come to truly appreciate Thai food until he moved out of the country. And now here in the US, it can be kind of challenging to find Thai food that is actually good. So I don't know, would you call that karma or hindsight for my husband? Apparently when he was growing up, he generally gravitated towards Western food. The good news is he's a great cook, especially for Thai food. But the bad news is, one, it can be hard to get a hold of Thai ingredients, and two, my honey bunches of oats, he works a lot, so I don't get to have his delicious cooking very often. Still love you, sweet pea. And now I would like to end this video and just tie this all to tie puns. I would like to tie this all together with letting you know at least 5 of my favorite Thai dishes. And I need to refer to my notes right here so I don't get these wrong. The first one is khao kha mu. Yes. That is originally a Chinese dish that uses the 5 spice thingy. It's a pork dish often served with boiled eggs and a pickled vegetable of some kind. Another dish is khao niao gai yang, I think. That is sticky rice with grilled pork, and it is often served with this sour, spicy sauce. A third dish is khao man gai. That is another originally Chinese-based dish, but now with a Thai twist to it. It's not healthy because you boil chicken, and the leftover chicken broth, some of it is used to cook the rice, and whatever is left over, you use that as a sort of soup side dish for the rest of the meal. Also, the dipping sauce that goes with this meal, it's just very heavy in sodium, so not healthy, but dang, is it tasty. A fourth dish that I really enjoy is, and bear with me on this, I am not cursing this, I'm speaking Thai, gang phak thong. Again, not cursing. Phak thong means pumpkin in Thai. This is a pumpkin curry, and I just absolutely love it. The fifth dish I would like to mention is khao mok gai. This is a southern Thai dish, or a biryani dish, which originates in the Indian subcontinent. It doesn't seem to be well known to foreigners or popular, which is a darn shame because, well, it's super tasty. I can't believe I waited to the very end to even mention this, but Thai iced tea, just my favorite. I love it. No, it is not healthy because it's a lot of sugar. Go easy on that, I suppose, especially if you need to watch your sugar intake, but absolutely one of my favorite beverages from Thailand. Let me know in the comments below, what is your favorite Thai dish? Or if, heaven forbid, you've never had Thai food, just what is your favorite food in general? I would love to know. Guys, gals, and pals, I think that is all I have for you today, which I think was a fair amount. So, khop kun ka. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye! Take 53, at least that's what it feels like. With I always get a little nervous when filming, and so therefore my face ends up turning really red, so at least that part's consistent. Yes, this is the right one. Okay, the last like 10 seconds of this. So please let me know in the comments down below if you have a particular... I think that's all. Is this the right button?